So I'm not sure how to start off this video, but I thought that I would tell my story just for those of you who want to listen. My name is Daniela and this is Teddy, and there's Parita here and Enya and Rocky's behind me. And I did stop being vegan. Now that's not the end of the story. So I did stop being vegan when I got pregnant with my first son, and I stopped because I was listening to my body, but I have to say that I was not following a proper vegan diet. I never really went to a nutritionist to find out what I should be eating. I kind of just figured I just wouldn't eat animal products. So wasn't supplementing, I wasn't eating any flax or chia or any of that kind of stuff to make sure I was getting my omegas and even having a proper balance of omega-3 and omega-6. I really had no idea. So I did stop becoming a vegan when I got pregnant, and I kind of made an excuse for myself to eat eggs. It started with fish, actually. I was serving at the time when I first got pregnant, and the smell of steak actually was what I was kind of craving, which was so weird because I've never liked meat. Even as a child, I hated it, which is a whole story on its own. My mom would get so upset because I wouldn't eat her food, and she had this complex like she was a bad cook. But it was just me, I just didn't like meat. So what happened when I started to crave meat, I figured my body was telling me, eat fish, start with fish. So I incorporated some salmon back into my diet, and I felt better. Placebo, I don't know. I did feel better, but again, I wasn't a proper vegan and I was pregnant, so that's kind of a double whammy. So I started eating fish again, started eating eggs again, started eating dairy again. So I was a pescatarian, lacto-ovo. So I guess I was a lacto-ovo pescatarian. After a little while of eating fish, I decided to stop because I was kind of getting grossed out by the texture, and I just I didn't want to eat it anymore. So I did continue to eat dairy and eggs, and I continued to eat dairy and eggs despite this little voice inside my head saying, you know, it's probably not right. Like, ethically speaking, I'm very much an animal person. I have, as you can see, I have 4 dogs. I can show you them later. But I knew that, you know, it wasn't right, morally speaking. So kind of ignored that voice, and I listened to kind of anecdotal claims online they never looked at studies, never looked at any research. I just kind of wanted to stay in that ignorance and live that bliss. But then after I had my second son, I was kind of Facebook that the social media and like the animal movement, and knowing that I was being a part of that and I was taking part in that. Sorry. Knowing that I was participating in that industry and just seeing all the videos and seeing all the harm that I was participating in, paying for, you know, I tried to do as ethically sourced as I could, you know, free range, eggs and grass-fed, free range dairy, but it never seemed right. So anyways, fast forward, my oldest son is almost 6 and my youngest is 3, and when he was about 1.5, my youngest, so about 1.5 years ago, I was, you know, thinking maybe I should go vegan again, because I felt like I was being a hypocrite, because I would preach animal rights and justice for the voiceless, and I wasn't practicing that. So I was a hypocrite. So if I was gonna go vegan the second time, I was gonna do it right. So I did a lot of research. A lot of actually YouTube personalities helped me. Those who are very research oriented, like Mike the Vegan. Mike the Vegan has amazing videos, and all of his sources are cited in the section below the video, so you can look at the links and read the studies for yourself. So that was really helpful for me. So I did a lot of research before going vegan, and it was just me and the family to start, took that step, and I went vegan, and I did it properly this time around. The first time I really craved eggs. I've always been a big egg person ever since I was little. I loved sunny side up eggs or over easy eggs, and dipping toast in them, having like a sandwich with the eggs and some cheese on there. That was like the dish that I absolutely loved. So I was worried that, you know, I would crave it again the second time around. I did it first, you know, like anything, letting go of those habits was tough. But after a little while, and eating the proper foods to make sure that my body was getting the nutrients it needs, I didn't crave those foods. And I continue to not crave those foods. I've been vegan again for a year or so, and it's going well. I know that there is controversy there, and there are people who love to eat meat, and you know, that's their choice. I don't necessarily agree with it because of the pain and suffering that it causes, but it is what it is, right? I have tried my best to reduce the amount of animal products in the house. As of late, I'm transitioning my 4 dogs onto a vegan diet. I used to make their food, well, I do still make food from scratch, all organic, all whole plant-based, and then I would add chicken breast. Ever since I've been making it, I would put some kind of animal meat in their food. It was weighing so heavily on my conscience, and I've been experimenting with different vegan foods for them, just researching what dogs need, the essential nutrients that they need. So I have been successful in making a whole plant-based vegan dog food for them, but I also supplement with Evolution dog food, which they like, and it has all the added nutrients that I don't put in the homemade dog food. I guess I could tell the tale of how I first wanted to become vegetarian. As I mentioned, I'm half Italian, half Filipino, and the Filipino side, much different cuisine than the Italian. So one of the first instances that kind of deterred me from animal products was I was at my tita's house and I wanted to have an egg. And so I grabbed an egg from the fridge, and if there's any Filipinos watching, you might know where this story is going. So I grabbed the egg, grabbed the pan, and once it was preheated, I started to crack the egg. But it was solid, so I figured it must be a hard-boiled egg. It must be a hard-boiled egg. So I figured I'd eat it just hard-boiled. So I started to peel it open, and all of a sudden this little tiny baby head falls out, and I was just like, just shocked. And I kind of dropped it and, you know, walked back and kind of didn't want to eat eggs for a while after that. So that's called balut, and it's something that I never have ever tried in my 33 years of life, and I never will try because it's definitely not my thing. So that's one instance. Second instance, you know, Filipino gatherings, you tend to have a roasted pig, but there were many gatherings where the pig's head was still attached. And that's not something that I wanted to see. Never ate it. My sisters love it. Never deterred them with the head attached. I was the only one. Another instance was my dad, who is the Filipino one. I had a pet rabbit, and unfortunately my pet rabbit died. I found him in the morning, and he was lifeless, so was sad about that. But then that night, when my dad cooked, I asked him what we were eating, and I saw that there were cabbage rolls, and I wasn't really a big fan of cabbage rolls. No, I don't think any kid really is. And he said, "Oh, we're eating cabbage rolls." It's like, "Oh, okay. What's in it?" He's like, "Your pet rabbit." And I was like, and he was joking. Obviously he didn't, well, I hoped he didn't put my pet rabbit in those cabbage rolls. But I remember just bawling at the table, like, "Why would you do that? Why would you put my rabbit in our food?" He didn't kill the rabbit. But I thought he had put the rabbit in the food. To this day, I don't know if he actually did. I wouldn't put it past him, because he's a chef, and you know, but I would assume that he didn't do that. If the rabbit died of natural causes, that meat probably is not good. So fingers crossed he didn't do that. Anyways, that's the end of that. Hopefully I can do some more videos. If you have any questions that I could answer, I could try to help. And if you want to see my puppies, who are very multicultural, I have 2 from China. They were rescued from the meat factories, I guess the meat farms or whatever the facilities there. I'm associated with a rescue center in China, and I have 2 from China. I have 1 from Costa Rica, and my oldest is from Montreal. So Rocky, he's right here. He's a Shih Tzu something. Enya, this is Enya. She's one of the ones from China. Oh, hey, this is Teddy. He's so cute. Look at that face. That's Teddy. He's my little teddy bear. Okay, and then I have Perita. She's my señorita from Costa Rica. And that's Perita. She's not really huggy, but she's so sweet. Okay, anyways, hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.